Hey guys, Joe Kyser here. I wanted to make a video for you guys and talk about what happens when StockX isn't able to verify a product because the seller did not ship StockX the product. We're going to talk about that today. Stay tuned. Alright, what's up YouTube? We got another day here, another hard day of work. We talked about StockX a little bit, about their tags in a previous video. Today I'm going to talk about what happens if you get something on StockX, you put a bid up, the seller accepts your bid, and then they don't ship the item. What happens and what could possibly happen? I've had a little bit of interaction with them, and we're going to go ahead and talk about that. First, we're going to take a walk up to the post office. All right, so let's go. All right, here we are inside, and we're literally looking at the StockX webpage. Let me show you an example. Travis Scott 13s. Okay, I put a bid in on them for $300. Somebody has these right now and they want $6,000. all right, so let's just say they become a crackhead and they want to sell me these shoes for 300 bucks. They can go into their console and they can accept the sale and sell it for 300. Okay, so at that point, after they accepted your bid, or let's just say it doesn't matter, you could have went in and they wanted $6,000 and you hit buy it now and you bought the shoe. Either way, the seller typically has 2 days to ship the item. That means the seller's got 2 days to get it on its way. Doesn't mean it's got to be there in 2 days. It means the seller has 2 days to make sure that it's boxed, the packing slips in there, and that UPS has that package and they scanned it in their system. Okay, now so what happens when the seller doesn't do that within the allotted time period? We'll say the 2 days. What happens then? Well, I went through that situation. I'm going to tell you about my situation with StockX. Here's what happened. Here's exactly what happened, and I think you guys should expect about the same thing. What I can tell you, and what StockX laid out a couple of times to me in the seller agreement and the user agreement that you sign before you agree to sell or buy on StockX, it lays everything out. And they did pinpoint different sections for me to read, and I could read all about it because they have it in great detail. But I'll give you a rundown of what happened here and the roundabouts will make this really easy. There's nothing to decipher because who reads those things where it says agree now? Yes, I agree. Do you guys always read them completely through? I know I don't. Maybe sometimes I do after the fact. I want to let you guys know that I did contact StockX after day 2 was over to get an idea what the process was like, to see. I'd never contacted StockX about anything. I wanted to see what their customer service was like. You know, what am I going to get from this whole experience? And I think it should be a good gauge for what you guys should expect to get as well. It shouldn't vary for who you are or how much you buy or how much you sell. It should be the same thing across the board, and that's what I expect. Every time I reached out, they got back to me. Sometimes they got back to me fairly quickly. When I originally reached out, it was after hours. I did it on their web page in the little corner thing, but it told me they're closed now. Tomorrow, one of these people here that work in our customer support is going to get your email and they're going to read it, they're going to go over it, and they're going to reply to you. Okay, so after 2 days, here's what happened. Brooke from StockX got back to me. Brooke says, hey, thanks for reaching out. Your StockX order has been confirmed and the estimated delivery to you is currently 6 to 10 days. We know you're excited, and our goal is to always ship to you as soon as humanly possible. You can monitor the status of your purchase under StockX.com/buying. If any other questions come up, please let us know. We're here to help. Thanks, Brooke. All right, so that's what Brooke had to say. It seemed like a copy and paste message, but that was my first reply back. Actually, honestly, I don't know if that was actually 2 days after. I think a couple more days than that had elapsed. So I'd said to them, it still says, I'd replied to that, it still says the seller is waiting to ship. And it was several days after. And I went 6 to 10 days. Okay, you guys still have time. I was just curious because I thought the seller had 2 days to ship the item. I know they are business days, but I'm pretty sure it's been past 2 business days. What I was looking for was some sort of resolve, I guess, maybe at that point after 2 days. But that's not their protocol to make resolve exactly after 2 days. What happens is they reach out to the buyer. And I later on found this out and definitely had that confirmed that they do get, they reach out to the seller. They do give the seller a little bit of padded time. Maybe they can possibly still ship it out. Maybe it'll just be late. In that case, they could impose some sort of penalty or fine against them for doing so. But here's what happened after I said that. Alan from StockX replied and said, "Hey Joseph, thanks for following up. Your seller has been notified to fill the order as soon as possible. If something happens and your item can't be delivered, we'll attempt to find you the same item at no additional cost or provide a full refund. Please let us know if we can help to answer any other questions. Thanks again, Alan." All right, Alan. I wrote a little thing and was like, all right, I'm curious. I'd like to know a little bit more about this process, basically, is what I said. I tend to go on and on sometimes. I don't think I really need to read the whole thing. It's not pertinent. "Good afternoon, Joseph. Please accept our apologies where we're unable to fill this order due to any issues occurring with the seller. I've issued you a full refund of the payment method and file the time of the confirmed purchase. Please allow 1 to 3 business days for your refund to appear. You are correct. The seller did go beyond the ship date. We do apologize for this inconvenience. We appreciate your patience and support of StockX. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Best, I have a good feeling that they don't take it lightly and that they just stop you from selling once you don't ship that item. You better make sure that you ship that item. I know stuff happens, but I don't think StockX wants to hear it. They probably look at your history and go, well, what is this person doing, And they'll probably listen to your story too, if you do have one. Communication's key. It's all I can tell you guys if you're a seller. As far as if you're a buyer, don't always count on getting the item. And if they don't ship the item, don't count on StockX finding that item for the same price. Because they said if it's still within the buyer's time frame, which would be me, they would try to find another one. They just gave me the refund. What so happened to happen in my situation was I had a bad feeling that this wasn't going to go through. I put a bid in for the item again for the same amount. I was able to purchase that item for the same amount. And this one's already on its way, so it looks like I'm going to get this one, hopefully. It's on its way to StockX to be verified as we speak. So I think the bottom line is what you guys need to take from this is the fact that when you do make a purchase on StockX, don't necessarily, you expect to get it, but don't necessarily expect it to work out each and every time. Situations do arise. It does happen. I've made a ton of purchases on StockX. I've never had to contact them. Never had any contact at all with them, and I've never had this happen. Now it happened. It's a very low percentage of the time for me. I'm sure it's like that across the board. I'm sure this doesn't happen a lot. I'm sure, it does happen though, because anybody can sell on StockX. I'm sure it does happen. It is what it is. I'm sure there are situations where people send items to StockX and it didn't pass authentication. And, you know, then there's a whole procedure from there. Now what happens? You're not paying for that item. You're going to get a refund. They probably offer the same thing to try to find it. Did they offer to try to find me this item? No, they just gave me the refund. But that's on them. They can do that. They can do that. It's part of the terms and conditions in the agreement that you sign when you make your purchase. So I just want you guys to know what to expect. I believe as a business owner, when it comes down to business, the only thing that you need to do really is make sure that your buyer knows what to expect and they got what they expect. They really just have to get what they expect. That's it. Bottom line, you're going to be 100% A+, 5 stars, higher user rating you can possibly get when your buyer gets what they expect each and every time. When you're outside of that scope and your buyer doesn't get what they expect, that's when you get unhappy buyers. And for you, it might be something you're looking at that's small. For the buyer, it might not be small. They might have been having a bad day, and they can take that right through their fingertips to the keyboard and take it out on you and the transaction and everything else about it. So from a buyer and seller standpoint, there's how I look at it, and here's what happened. Now you guys know what to expect, and I don't think it's unreasonable at all. I think StockX did a great job in this situation. They got an A+ from me, 5 stars, highest user rating they could possibly get. I'm gonna keep going back. I'm gonna keep getting great deals on StockX because that's what I do. Anyway, you guys, I'm done. That's it. You know what I need you to do? Time mark the video for me. Go down below in the comments. Give me 6 time marks for this video. Send me a direct message here on YouTube. Go into the app. Hit me up. Say, hey, Joe, I was the first one to get the time mark done. And I'll PayPal you $5. Alright? How's that? Even if you weren't the first one, do it anyway. Because I've seen before where the first person didn't do it right or it didn't work and they didn't get the $5. And sometimes the second person never comes up to bat. So you try it out to yourself. And third of all, let me know if you shop on StockX. And what's your experience? Have you ever had a seller that just didn't ship the item? Did they ship the item late? Did they ship the item and it didn't pass authenticity? Let me know about your experience below. Maybe we could talk about this a little bit more if we have to, alright? Because this is a platform that is for you guys as well. Most of my videos come from viewers talking to you guys, the engagement, the comments, the direct messages that I get, the Instagram messages that I get, the comments on Instagram I get. It all comes from you guys, and it all comes out here into a video because this was something I was talking to somebody else about, and now we made it a video. Hit me up, Instagram, jkyser23, JKYSER23 at gram.com. You know what it is, boy. Boy. That's enough of me. Let me get out of here. You guys have a good day, have a good night, have a good whatever it is, wherever you're at. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Don't smile too hard. It's like, what? Hey, no drama. No drama. Take it easy.
Wow.